just got a new microphone, although I don't think it's any better than the other one. I mean, I bought a microphone because I wanted to look the business when I'm recording, even though no one can see me. And I believe the microphone is okay. I mean, I had a Logitech webcam before and it did record really nicely, but unfortunately, side decided, there was a promotion on a microphone, so I bought it and it does work. But I wasn't checking it the last time. Anyway, I wanted to do a thing about the subliminal use of ethnic minorities in advertising. Here's an advert for Rally Bikes. I ordered something from them, and this is a picture of an actor pretending to make a phone call. Now the thing is, Rally is a British company, and this is Britain. So even with all the ethnic minorities we have in Britain today, especially in the inner cities, black people remain a minority. I don't know what, 3%. Obviously in London it's more, but there's nothing wrong with black people. I really have black friends and like black people just as much as I like white people, which is most people I don't really like at all, because most people are conformist idiots or behave in a bad fashion. Doesn't matter what community they're from. But you've got to understand that really black people do not are not, the reason we see them so often in adverts is because they're trying to get us used to us. They're trying to subliminally influence us to the coming demographic changes that they have planned for us. The demographic changes are nothing to do with refugees or whatnot. It's really a plan to change the nature of what being a European is, to turn Europe from a white country, a white continent with historical people, Hungarians and Poles and Romanians and Greeks and Albanians and Germans and French and so on, into basically a melting pot, just like the United States, where most European Americans, white Americans, they identify as white people. They don't even realise that actually a white is itself a hybrid, right? For example, if you're partly German and partly French and partly Swedish, or partly Greek and partly Italian, if your mum's Italian and your father's half German and half Finnish or something, that's the kind of American. Most Americans are of mixed ancestry, including black people, of course, because in most cases they themselves do not, and a lot of Americans aren't even too sure about what, they might be white, but they don't necessarily know where their ancestors came from. The vast majority of people know very, very little about their ancestry beyond their grandparents, and even their grandparents. I mean, I actually don't even know who my father's father was, and neither did he. So, so that's even in my case. I haven't got full information about my ancestry. And I don't particularly care that much, because I am who I am, and what difference would it make to me if I knew, let's say one of my ancestors was a king or something, so what? It wouldn't improve my financial balance at the moment, would it? It's kind of amusing, I suppose, to look into your family tree to see, but I mean, it's all past history, isn't it? The future starts today. I mean, there's only the present, actually. The future hasn't come yet, and the past is finished. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. You might have had a great day yesterday, but today might not be so great, or today might be much better than yesterday. Who knows? The fact is, we should always live in the moment. Anyway, nothing against this black guy, and if this was a one-off, I couldn't see any problem with a black guy being used in this fashion. But the fact is that everywhere you look in, I'm just going back on the thing, you see is black faces, white girls with black guys, much, much more common than black guys with than black women with white men, right? But the theme is, black people have been given a far more position as models. Now, what is the point of models? Models is to sort of, so you identify with people. The people buying this product are 95% white, and the models are 60% black. Don't you think it would be more logical? Now, I'm only going back to what I said before. like I said, nothing against these models in particular. Look, she's got her head. I mean, like I said, I'm not against any of this if this was just a one-off. But every single website uses exactly the same themes, which means that it's been organized. These choice of models is not random, right? It's not a random choice of models. They're pushing ethnic minorities much, much more, and also lesbians and gays and stuff, much, much more so than you know, and it's always multinationals are doing it. Now, this is a subliminal, because when people see these pictures, and again, I don't even like these pictures because I just want to see the product. I'd be happy if they didn't show any model at all. I mean, just have a picture of a t-shirt. I mean, I can imagine what I look like in it. I don't need to see a guy with tattoos. Also, another thing you notice is that, especially, not this website in particular, but lots and lots of these fashion websites, it's almost essential that you've got to have tattoos. So you've got to look like blingy blingy Mr. Bling, you know, blingy bling bling with tattoos and chains and whatnot. But it is nice to see, you know, no tattoos. I don't think we should encourage tattoos at all, because it is your body, your skin. Your skin is an organ. What's going on? Oh, right. Oh, that's a nice one. That's a good one. Just a normal t-shirt. What's wrong with that? I mean, why pay models when you can just put it on a hanger? So anyway, the bottom line is this. I'm not against black people being chosen as models, but they shouldn't be chosen as part of an agenda, as part of a promotion. And if I was a black person, look, they're sticking out their tongue, which is a form of mockery. Again, I don't think it's a good look. And also, these postures are not good. It's very much a kind of hip-hop type style. You know, why can't people just look normal? What is wrong with Cary Grant? I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fashionable guy at all. You know, I do dress up well, I suit up well, but I have no reason to suit up. I mean, you know, when was the last time I went on a date? Can't remember. I don't think I've got a book that old, so I'll have to get if I find a book that old, the cobwebs will be on it. But, you know, if you're going for a job interview or a court appearance or a wedding or a function or working in an office, back in the day when people used to work in offices, now everybody works from home in their underpants. And now you can wear this kind of shitty stuff. But it's not a good look, actually. And it doesn't matter how many, and everybody ends up looking pretty much the same. It's not elegance, you know. Back in the day, we didn't have disposable fashion. Things were designed to last. I really, really love, I mean, even though I'm not a fashionable guy, I still love, you know, brogues and a nice suit and a properly fitting shirt with cuffs at just the right length, you know. I really like it, and I'd like an opportunity to wear those clothes for some functions that I never get invited to. I really would like to get involved in that, but can't do it. Anyway, again, this issue is not about ethnic minorities, and if you happen to be an ethnic minority, please don't misunderstand me. I understand you're just doing a job. Somebody offered you the job as a model, and you're being paid to strut around. And all these poses and all the clothes, all decided by the... Right. But what I'm saying is, let's not pretend that the changes we see in society, whether it's surveillance, online harms, vaccinations, 5G, open borders, wars around the world, genetically modified foodstuffs, control on movement by ULEZ and other methods, fines, punishments, rewards, virtue signalling, and all this type of stuff. It's all being designed. Every single thing is a push. We're being pushed into it. And when you see pictures like this, instead of thinking, oh yeah, I want to buy that t-shirt, you should ask yourself, well, what are they actually selling here? Are they selling clothes, or are they selling a future, a dystopian future for us? I do not consent to this. I do not want to be pushed, and I do not want my opinions to be formed for me by big business and multinational corporations and think tanks and nudge units and SAGE and stuff like that. The COVID thing was a great opportunity for a social experiment where they could basically use advertising and subliminals and propaganda to get the vast majority of people to comply. The vast majority of people didn't have a think about it and say, why are we doing this? What's going on? They never ask, and they never look for alternative explanations. Is there really a COVID pandemic, or are they simply manipulating statistics to make it seem as if there is one? Has there been an actual increase in overall death rates? Right? A significant actual. And are the things we're being told we must do, will they make a difference? And if they do make a difference, is the price worth paying? Because even if they did make a difference, the attack on human rights and normal behaviour, such as not being able to visit loved ones, having operations cancelled, being forced to queue in the rain for groceries, restrictions on travel and punishments and prevention. So the way I looked at it was, I strongly opposed the lockdown and all the other things, and even if they worked, I don't believe, and they didn't, they actually made people ill. I believe that staying indoors and wearing a face mask and using chemicals on your hands as satanizer. I do believe that all those things had a generally negative effect. And also the negative propaganda, illness, disease, sickness, death. It's very bad for your psyche. A lot of people's health is very strongly influenced by propaganda, which is why in beautiful weather the British public can be persuaded not to enjoy it because the media tells them not to. It's a lovely sunny day. Or they say something like Britain prepares for Indian summer or something, which of course is beautiful weather. It's a late summer. In autumn we sometimes get, especially if we have a poor summer, we have a late summer, which is very, very nice. But instead of saying to the public, enjoy the weather, go out and have fun, well, don't worry about it. If you're hot, have a cup of tea or something. If you're hot, have an ice cream. They don't want you to enjoy it. They want you to, they always want you to worry about things. They always try and persuade you that there's a problem. It's just weather. And whether it's caused by, and what causes the weather isn't that important, as long as it isn't man-made. And I'll tell you what is man-made: cloud seeding and things like that, and geoengineering. Because quite often, if you do have nice weather, if you look up at the sky, you can see chemtrails, and that is not a conspiracy theory. You can find websites devoted to that. Even on Wikipedia, admit geoengineering exists. And they've spoken about it at the United Nations, geoengineering. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's not tinfoil hat, it's not blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this is the video that approximately I'm saying now what I was said in the other video, and I'd like to thank one of my followers. And by the way, I've got 198 followers here, and I get about 3 people commenting from 198 followers. Basically what's happened is that Rumble do not bother telling anybody about my videos, and no one promotes me anywhere. So even though I left some links on Russell Brand's channel saying come along and have a look at all this, nobody came along and had a look. I guess maybe I should do cat videos instead, eh? I could get millions of hits for that. Alright, thanks for your time.